is after I told him, like, if you pay attention to the news, you'll see what happens. That liberal media is all false information. I hate them. That's why I hate the. I don't watch anything but Fox.
You should see the view. You don't say.
No, that's see, the only media that pauses that streams bad news is the liberal medias. Like the stuff like stuff about like Fox News is it. The thing I like about Fox News is they put both sides. They put both sides, liberal and Republican. But the liberal media, like CNN, NBC, all that shit, they just only put what they only want to put. They only want to put like what the Democrats tell them to put. And then sometimes like certain other ones will go and make up, like they'll broadcast or they'll be there and they'll ask the questions, Trump will give them the answer, but then they go and rewrite everything about what he said, and then they take his voice recognition and then they make it seem like he said something that wasn't right or was bad and make. Yeah. Exactly, and that's what the liberal media is. That's all the liberal media is good for. Like they say what they want you to hear. They don't tell you what he actually said. They don't even, like they cut like when in order to like the Fox News station. They will actually put the thing live as it's going on, so you hear what he says. The liberal media, they put like the parts that sound bad and then cut out everything else.
What happened? I think the room's caught. Just hang on.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to jump to conclusions too fast, and that's exactly what the liberal media wants you to do. That's why they say the bad things they say. That's why they say Trump's a liar, Trump's a racist, this and that. They say that shit just to piss people off and make them believe what is not right. And that's why the country's gone to shit like the way it is.
I'm all right. Hold it. They might actually be trying to hit me. What did you do back there?
It's a long story.
Yeah, that's all the liberal media is good for, is being negative. And like, if you don't agree with what they say you're a racist and you're this and that. You know, just because you don't believe what they want you to believe. And to me, the liberal leaders and like the Democratic leaders can just go suck a binky and have a pacifier and grow the fuck up. I'm sorry to needless to say, but especially that whole woman Nancy Pelosi. I don't like her. She needs to get out of office. She's the whole cause of why Americans are going around being mean to other Americans. Like I know if I have a kid, I don't want my kid growing up to going into like a school that is turned into a democratic, like a liberal school owned by liberal people who are believers by what Nancy Pelosi is saying is right when it's actually wrong. Nancy Pelosi banned selling of an American flag in, huh? Yeah, the Michigan governors, they banned the selling of American flags due to what Nancy Pelosi tells them to do that. You know, I don't believe that Nancy.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and that's another thing. If I have a kid, I don't want them going to a liberal school. If it's a school run by liberals, they're not going to that school, because I don't want my kid getting liberal views put into their head that are false and inconsiderate. It's like, to me, Democrats, okay? They take the E and the N out of demonic. They put the CNO next to the M, so Democrat. So they got the Democrat, right? But you take the N and the A out of demon, or demonic, and you get democ, and then you put the rat next to it, so you get demonic rat. Put it together, Democrat. If you take the N and the A out of it, you get Democrat.
You took too long.
They've tried to impeach Trump so many times. Every time they've done it, they were false. They were false. Right, that's what I'm saying. They were false. Right. You see, they were saying things that were not true, and Nancy Pelosi, the Democratic, one of the leaders, don't get me wrong, she said, correct me if I'm wrong, she said on live television, and I heard it on the Fox Nation because they showed it, versus I'm pretty sure the liberal media, they blocked it out so you wouldn't hear it, but the news, they let the truth come out. She said to one of the reporters, they said, "Are you going to turn the papers over to the Supreme Court?" And she said, "No." And then she switched the subject immediately, so it sounded like no one heard it. But I'm pretty sure the liberal news stations cut that out of their streams, so that way and say, "Okay, well, she's doing the right thing," you know. But no, she said, and it was caught on camera. And Fox News laid it all out so you could hear the whole thing. She said, "No, I'm not turning the papers in. Next question." And that was back when they were trying to, have the papers to turn to the Supreme Court to get Trump impeached. But because she refused, they stopped the case right there. They said, "Okay, well, he's staying in president office, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Because if you can't turn the papers in, he stays in. We have no evidence, no physical proof that he did something wrong to deserve impeachment." So, because she said, "No, I'm not giving my papers to the Supreme Court," he stayed in office. The Democrats lost that. But then all the conspiracy lies, the conspiracy acts, the lies to the American people that the Democrats were trying to prove that Trump needed to be impeached. But all that bullshit was lie after lie after lie. Everything they said, everything they did, they spent $300 million trying to get him out of office. And each dollar spent was a dollar to waste, because everything they did, everything they paid for to try to get him impeached, failed. They had no physical evidence to prove that he did something that deserved obstruction of justice or anything like that to get him impeached. But it's ridiculous, and like they're saying, like, he's a liar, he's a racist. No, he's not. There are more black people out there, pardon my language, but there are more African Americans who are having jobs now, as well as other races, having jobs more than when Obama was president. And needless to say, I thought Obama was the worst president we've ever had. Why? Because when he was president, he gave up on an American citizen who was a journalist. An hour after the execution on live television, Obama decides to go golfing. That is what I call the shittiest president. Because you never know. That reporter, that little American that got his head cut off by ISIS on live television, when an hour after that happened, Obama goes golfing, that American man must have had a family, a daughter, a son, or maybe a newborn. But did he get a chance to come home and see them? No, because Obama gave up on him. That sickens me. And then, you know, the Democrats say, like, now they're saying, like, you know, they're saying, like, if you want an abortion, do it. That's considered murder. I can understand. I can understand.
It's the third trimester that's a murder. Second trimester is murder. First trimester, that's okay. But if it's the second and third trimester, the third trimester is when it's completely formed. The second trimester is when, heartbeat is fast.
So second and beyond second is considered murder. But to me, any form of abortion is murder, however you look at it. But I can see exception to it, like if you were raped or something, you know, like if you were like a rape victim, I can understand abortion being fine there. But if you are a person who wants to have, like, you made plans to have a kid, and all of a sudden you decide, okay, I don't want a kid, I'm gonna get an abortion, that's fucking murder. That's a sick person. That's a sick individual, right? Yeah, you know. It's, you know, and honestly, God, honest to God, however you want to say, I hope this country learns from their mistakes, because I see this pandemic, everyone's calling it, or epidemic, or whatever, however you want to say it, I see this as a trial of God. I see this a trial as God, a trial of God. He's saying those who are being good will hopefully make it through this and, you know, push on. But the ones that, you know, the ones that passed, you know, I believe that everyone, you know, that passed was probably a good person. But I see this as, like, you know, God's punishment for all the hate that's been going on between the gangs, the violence, the gang violence, the crime rates, again, you know, people starting riots out in the streets, people starting, you know, like hate crimes, freaking, you know, people just going out and saying, like, okay, we're gonna do this and you're not gonna stop us. And then, you know, the police get involved and people riot out into the street. People will say, take down the statue of, you know, those statues on Monument Avenue were parts of our history. And the Democrats didn't want it there because they said it was racist. It's been there for so many years. I don't see how all of a sudden now it's considered racist. You know, they took those statues down, and those were part of our history, our American history. And they've been standing for so many years. Nobody ever had a problem with it.
Now they're trying to take away, the Confederate schools like Lee Davis and Stonewall Jackson.
And Lee Davis and Stonewall Jackson. Those were Confederate people. The Democrats are trying to get rid of that. That's part of our history. If you're trying to, to me, the Democrats are trying to rewrite history. If you look at it that way, because that's part of our history. Those schools have been standing there with those names for years. Nobody had ever complained about them until now. So it's like all of a sudden now it's a big deal. After so many years pass of it standing there with that name, all of a sudden now. Why now? Why is it because Trump's in presidency? Oh, now it's considered racist? Because when Obama was president, it wasn't. But now that Trump is, it is. Democrats need to grow up. They need to stop being bitches and crybabies. All they're saying is when their president is in power, or when they're candidates in the presidency, they're like, if you're not with us, you're racist. Okay, well, if you're not with the Republicans, you're racist. How does that sound? I mean, like, come on now. You don't like it? Well, deal with it. Because Trump's not racist. Trump has done so much for this country. He's made more jobs than any other president come to the streets where people are not being homeless. I mean, this is ridiculous. Like, ever since Hillary tried to run for presidency, and ever since Obama was president, and Hillary was held accountable for numerous things, selling uranium, one to the Russians, our enemies. She had personal, highly classified information on her computer. Her personal computer, nevertheless, not right. That's supposed to stay in the government, not in your home. and then she was held accountable for the Benghazi attacks. To me, that's warlord criminal activities. And and then when she ran for president, Trump's racist, don't vote for him. He's this, he's that. Well, that's what that makes you. So, you know, I'm needless to say, but Democrats are like warlord criminals. If, like, the leaders, that's what they are to me. They're warlord criminals, every single one of them. Because if they're going to call us racist, I'm going to call them warlord criminals. Because that's exactly what Hillary did. That's exactly what Obama did. He gave up on a search and rescue mission on a civilian. And that civilian got killed. Did he care? No, he just went golfing. That's a jackass of a president, I say. He can go kiss a white, hairy ass of a mule. You know, I'm needless to say, I'm sorry to say, but that just sickens me. And I think this world needs to grow the fuck up.